The message I want you to take with you today is proteins are machines. This is not a metaphor. They're real machines that use energy. They spin around, they pump and shape smaller molecules, they make you think, walk, and talk. All living organisms are made of proteins. Proteins are made of peptides. Peptides are short strings of building blocks called amino acids. This is a picture of a peptide, and each color represents an amino acid. The way these amino acids interact with each other cause these floppy molecules to fold into unique structures. And it's the shape of these molecules which enables them to carry out their amazing biological functions. This specific peptide is an antimicrobial peptide called micrococcin. Micrococcin is produced by some bacteria so they can kill harmful neighbors. But before it gets activated, it goes through various modifications, which are carried out by bigger protein machines. We're interested in those protein machines so we can harvest them to make new antimicrobial peptides that have never been seen in nature before. Just think of an example where humanity has been inspired by nature to create something at the macro scale. Is anyone thinking about airplanes? Me too. The Wright brothers spent a good amount of time observing birds in flight. They noticed how birds change the shape of their wings to turn and maneuver, and they believed they could use these techniques to make a flying machine. Just like the Wright brothers, we're also inspired by the wisdom of nature. We're studying the protein machine that makes the antimicrobial peptide micrococcin. This linear peptide is the starting material, and it goes through various modifications so it can acquire its bioactive function. These modifications are carried out by a machine made of three proteins called I, J, and N. They work together to recognize the amino acid cysteine so they can modify it so that the molecule can take on a more rigid structure. I have discovered how IJN interacts with the starting peptide through a molecular contact point on the left side of that peptide. I'm currently working on harvesting IJN so that we can study its shape and structure. While I'm using these approaches to answer basic scientific questions, these answers are also useful in the world of therapeutics. For example, we can use IJN to make all sorts of alternative peptides with biological properties, perhaps leading to an arsenal of new antimicrobial peptides with potential medical applications, such as antibiotics. Thank you.
In the film called Fantastic Beasts, Newton Scamander, a famous magicologist, travels around the world looking for extraordinary and rare magical creatures. As he helps them, he relocates them into safe environments. While doing so, he keeps some of them in his magically expanded suitcase. During one of his visits to New York, many of his magical creatures are accidentally released from his magic suitcase. The creatures are just messing around the city. So basically, it is Newt's job to place all these fantastic beasts back into the right place. Among these creatures, there's one called Obscurus, a parasite that grows and kills its host as he or she represses its magical powers. In the movie, after much effort, Newt can finally place all the fantastic beasts in his suitcase, and more important, he's able to contain the threat of the Obscurus. What does this have to do with cancer and the immune system? Well, just like Newt and his suitcase, containing these fantastic beasts, our bodies also contain incredible cells with special powers. They patrol our bodies 24/7, infiltrate every single tissue, heal us, protect us from infections, and even from developing cancer. Yes, fantastic immune cells patrol your body and fight against cancer. However, like the movie, when these immune cells are not in the right place, they cannot do their job, and when they repress their powers, cancer grows and spreads out like the Obscurus that Newt tries to catch and contain. Cancer researchers are like Newt, trying to send these fantastic immune cells to the right place and contain or eliminate the threat of cancer disease, the Obscurus. My research focused on releasing the brakes of the immune system and direct the immune cells to the right place to eliminate and contain cancer. In our lab, we have discovered a tumor target that is expressed only on cancer cells. We had developed a molecule that binds to this target and flags tumor cells, telling your immune cells where to find them. Our results, recently published, show evidence that using antibodies specific for membrane-associated thymidine kinase 1, we can direct macrophages and natural killer cells towards cancer cells. And upon binding to the antibodies, their tumoricidal activity is released, significantly eliminating cancer cells in a matter of days. We hope to take our research to the next step and one day offer a new target that can be used in different cancer immunotherapies. And this is how we use your fantastic immune cells. Thank you.
Hands. We all touch everything with our hands, and we all get everything on our hands too. So that's why it's really important to keep our hands clean. Especially right now in the middle of a viral pandemic, it's important to keep our hands clean so we don't get sick or get other people sick. And that's why we have hand sanitizer. Except if you've been using alcohol hand sanitizer, like the CDC recommends for controlling COVID, then you've probably run into some problems. One of them is skin irritation. Have you ever put hand sanitizer on your skin only to feel that like burning sensation? Alcohol irritates skin, especially dry skin, and that's a problem. Another one is that alcohol is toxic and intoxicating. Last year alone, more than 100 different brands of hand sanitizer were recalled by the FDA because they contain methanol. You certainly don't want to be putting that on your hands. Plus, alcohol is a pain to ship and transport. But there is a better way. That's this chemical up here called benzalkonium chloride. Benzalkonium chloride is a great substitute for alcohol in hand sanitizer. It doesn't burn, it's not an irritant, it's non-toxic, and it's way easier to ship than alcohol. 20 kilograms of benzalkonium chloride can make as much hand sanitizer as 10,000 liters of alcohol. Imagine the logistics that could be saved by doing that. Except there's just one problem. In March of last year, a review paper came out that falsely claimed that benzalkonium chloride would be less effective for inactivating SARS-CoV-2 and controlling COVID-19. And because of that, both the FDA and the CDC in the US have discouraged people from using it. And I decided to test that assumption. I took SARS-CoV-2 and I put it on discs. And then I added benzalkonium chloride solutions, some commercial products and some just that I made in the lab. And they all worked great for attacking this virus. The virus was toast almost instantly, even in the presence of mucus or a soil simulant. So that showed that alcohol-free hand sanitizer clearly is great for controlling COVID-19. Right now, in the middle of a pandemic, we need all the tools that we can get, especially the best hand sanitizer for controlling this virus. So I started a change.org petition to try and get the FDA and CDC to change their policies. And you can scan this QR code right here to go and sign it yourself. Together, let's build a world where we can have hand sanitizer that cleans, not burns our skin. Thank you.